Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to everybody. I want to thank you guys for joining today's webinar. My name is Tony Butler. I'm one of the life sales directors here, and today I have Rick Cordaro with Principal with me on our webinar. Rick, you want to say hello?
Yeah, good morning.
So, Rick, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we're going to be talking about, the business market and talking about business owners. And we're going to talk and touch about a couple of programs that we have available that are complementary to our advisors and their customers. And we'll be talking about some solutions for the business owner market.
Awesome. Okay, so before we get started, wanted to take care of a couple of housekeeping items for everyone. As you know, Iams, we're about partnering with our advisors to help you grow your business. And one of the ways that we do that is with our new producers builders to help you grow your production. And as you see here, we have several different levels here that if you achieve, there are perks, if you will, that you can get, whether it's 1,500 piece postcard mailing, iPads. We've got seminars that you can do. We've got preset annuity appointments if you're an annuity agent. We can provide leads for you as well as social media campaign. So we have the 100,000, 250, 500, 750, and 1 million. Those are the production levels. If you have any questions in regards to our new producers builders, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Be more than happy to go into this in great detail with you. We also have our Iams business builders to help you increase your capital. It's a referral program for our advisors. If you do refer an agent over to us and they get appointed with one of the carriers that we work with, we do provide you with the $50 bonus. Any subsequent business that they do write, we do provide additional bonus for you as well. Does not take from their commissions, but it's a little bit more money in your pocket as a thank you for sending the referral our way. Again, if you have any questions on this, feel free to give us a call. Any one of our sales directors would be more than happy to talk to you about this in greater detail. We also offer back office support for all of our advisors. We want you to work smarter, not harder. What that consists of is paperless contracting, which alleviates a lot of work for you. We do have business building tools and resources. We have forms that's available on our website. And speaking of our website, as you see here, website is www.iamsinc.com. We've got excellent sales tools on the website. If you are a life advisor, life insurance agent, you are or you do have the ability to not only do term quotes from the website, but you can also do guaranteed universal life quote comparisons from our website. You can access forms, and you can also do electronic applications from our website. We have two different platforms for electronic applications. One is iGo eApp Solutions, which you can access through our website, and the other is Firelight. Now, as you see here, Firelight is primarily annuity carriers that we have available on Firelight, but there are a couple of life companies that you have to submit their electronic applications through Firelight. You can get registered on Firelight through our website. If you haven't done that, and these are some carriers that you're interested in doing applications with, please go to our website to get registered. If you have questions as far as how to get registered, give us a call. Be more than happy to walk you through that process. We also offer you creative marketing solutions. So whether it's turnkey, agency, or digital solutions, we're here to help you grow your business. So if you need assistance with newsletters, postcards, or handouts, you're looking for a logo design or a redesign of your logo, you're looking for brochures, or if you want to get in the digital marketing space, whether that be setting up a personal website or tweaking the one that you have, along with digital marketing strategies, all of this we can assist you with. I strongly suggest that you reach out to your sales director and have a marketing analysis done. What that is about a 30-minute phone conversation where we kind of take a methodical deep dive into your business in regards to what you're currently doing, what you're looking to do, and how we can partner with you to help you achieve those goals. So again, if this is something that does pique your interest, I strongly suggest that you give us a call. We can set up a time to do a marketing analysis to help you move your business forward. We also offer Retirement Analyzer, and that is free for qualifying agents. The Retirement Analyzers come into play quite a bit recently with advisors looking to provide additional services for their clients, such as, can I continue my present standard of living in my retirement years? How would it affect my family if I were to die prematurely? Could take you through a tutorial on the Retirement Analyzer. Please give us a call. Be more than happy to discuss that with you as well. And if you're familiar with Iams and you know that we do a Life and an Annuity Academy, we try to do one of these once a quarter. We just had one here about a month ago in Des Moines. We partnered with Athene for that. It is a 2-day training that we pay for, where we're talking to our advisors about sales ideas and strategies. We do have some of our top agents speak at this as well. If you are interested in getting more information in regards to our Life and Annuity Academy, I do have a polling question that I'm going to put up here because we're looking to do one here in the spring. I'm going to put that up here on the board real quick. If you guys can respond to that, make sure to get additional information out to you. I'll leave this up for a few more seconds and give you guys enough time to respond. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. And finally, our Top Producer Summit. We do have a cruise getaway in 2022 for our top producers. As you see here, qualification periods are from December 1st of 2020 to June 30th of 2022. You need 4.5 million points to qualify. As you see that we've got some of the destinations here, I should say, Rome, we've got Venice. If you have questions in regards to our Top Producer Summit, feel free to give me a call. If you want to see where you're at, if you have been producing with us, as far as qualifying for the trip, I can give you information on that as well. So with that, Rick, I am going to make you the presenter so we can begin.
Terrific.
There you go.
Great. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everybody, again. Our discussion is going to be this morning talking about business owners and planning, obviously, for that business owner needs and what have you. But let me get this guy clicked on here. Our agenda is going to be pretty quick. What we're going to cover is, how and why is it important to understand the value of an individual business? What type of succession planning, what type of protection are they dealing with, and also focusing on key employees of the firm. First of all, let's talk about the valuation. Today.
Hey, Rick, before you get started, I don't see it.
Oh, you don't?
Don't see the PowerPoint yet.
Uh-oh. Let's see here.
There we go.
Oh, did I just?
Nope, I got it. We got it.
Oh, you got it now?
Yep,
okay.
We got it. Thanks.
All too often, when we're talking to business owners today, one of the things that obviously is a great way to start the conversation is to identify the value of X. Okay, what is your company, big or small? What is it worth? What type of value do you have on the business? Well, we found that 52% of business owners have never had their business valued. And so they really don't know what they're talking about succession planning, retirement planning, all the things involved with being a business owner. And of those who did have a valuation done, 68% of them had their valuation done in the last 2 years, which is kind of a good sign in that respect. But keeping in mind that more than 50% or 52% have never had their business valued. So we think there's an opportunity in this and having this conversation with the business owners. Get it on here. When you talk about the value of a business, there's a lot of key factors involved in that. And what value, obviously, will their heirs be taxed on? What does their buy-sell agreement say about the valuation? Does it really address how to value the business and when to value the business? What are the triggering events that are most important in the valuation process? Okay. Do they have key employees that are driving the value of the business? Are they key employees that are bringing revenue to the firm? And is there a buyer for the firm, given any one of these triggering events that we'll talk about? Do they have a ready-made buyer that is willing and able and ready to purchase the company at any given particular moment? So how does a business owner influence the value of their business? Obviously, there's a lot of things that levers they can draw upon. Okay, they can increase cash value, cash flow, sustainability, obviously the appearance of the facility. They can pay down debt. They can diversify their customer base, okay, and they can implement growth strategies in the firm that can help, determine the value either today or tomorrow. And do they have a really solid management team that is going to manage the operation of the business, day-to-day operation of the business? And so when you look at this, there's a lot of things to be considered for the value of the business. Number one is the fair market value, and that simply is, amount agreed upon between a willing buyer and a willing seller. Just as if the individual wanted to take it to the free market, and they can do that. However, we think there's some planning that needs to be involved. And with our process, with our other processes of valuation, there's 5 different mechanisms used in that, and there's a book value, adjusted book value, capitalization, multiple of earnings, excess earnings, and discounted future cash flow. These are some of the fundamentals in valuing a business when it's not on the market. Okay, and typically these businesses that we deal with are not currently on the market. They're existing businesses. They have a strong track record. And what we're looking for here, in keeping in mind that this is a disability conversation, a disability insurance conversation, we're looking for business owners that are between the ages of 40, maybe 35 and 50. Okay. One of the things that we do find is, and this can be used for those who are within 5 to 10 years of retirement, but we think where your opportunity lies is in that emerging business. Those individuals who are younger, who have a very good economic potential, their business is going up and to the right, and they want to get a handle on the business, where it's going, what the potential value of the business would be, and basically these businesses that are not in an exit mode. These are a growth mode businesses that we're looking at, okay? So what we do offer to you as an advisor is to have a conversation with your customer and allow for them to take advantage of what we call our complementary informal business valuation. Now, this business valuation, albeit it's informal and costs nothing to the customer or to you, it is a great way to start that conversation about what the business is worth and what they plan to do with the business based on various different triggers, okay? And what we utilize are the 5 most common valuation methods. And this is a customized report, and it works as a starting point for you to have a conversation. Now, here's the unique thing about working with Principal. Many of us today have the ability to go anywhere in the marketplace today and get a boilerplate or a valuation done complementary to their customer, to you. And we understand that. But there's a value proposition in working with Principal, in that, as an example, you do a valuation, with your customer and they have questions and they want to talk about it. Well, you and your customer and their CPA, okay, can literally take the time and meet with the CPAs at Principal who develop the business valuation. So we take it one step further where we can have a conversation with you, your customer, and their CPA and how we came up with the valuation, the method we used, and if there's any maybe clarity that we may need or clarification on any type item within the documents that we receive from your customer, we're able to have those conversations directly with your customer and their CPA. Now, always keep in mind that we will never have a conversation with your customer without you present. That is a requirement that we think is very, very important because you're the driver, you're the boss, you're the coach in this situation. So when you look at this opportunity, not only are they going to get a written report, which obviously you can get pretty much anywhere, okay, but we're going to take it one step further and give that customer an opportunity along with their CPA if they choose, or their CFO of their company or whomever, to have a direct, frank conversation with our CPAs within our advanced markets team to talk about the valuation and how we came up with the planning. So let's talk about business succession planning. First of all, the benefits obviously to the customer are widespread, but what we want to make sure, and this is our theory and this is our motto, is that we want to have the right amount of money and we want to have it in the right place and we want to have it at the right time. And when you think in terms of that, and you consider all the different variables and all the different triggers that can cause a company to change ownership or have some change in their fundamentals, we think it's important that having the right amount of money at the right place at the right time is paramount for your customer. And so that's what we think is right. So within the succession planning, okay, model, what we have found that only 37% of business owners, they do not have a business succession plan in place at all. And when you think in terms of that, that's about 1/3 of all business owners today have no plan for succession, okay? Of those business owners that do have a plan, they do not have a mandatory buyout trigger for death. Now, I find that probably one of the most surprising things for me is that most times when a succession plan is developed, there's typically a life insurance element. And finding that of those people that do have a plan, 31% do not have a mandatory buyout trigger for death. And here's the other thing too, that I think this is really where the opportunity lies for you as an advisor, that 67% of agreements do not have any mandatory buyout in the case of a disability, okay? So if you're looking for something that you're going to be able to visit with business owners, not only do and offer them an informal business valuation. Now let me go back to the informal business valuation. You know, I always taught, and this is the way I understand it, that if you talk to 10 CPAs and you ask them what's 2 + 2, my guess is 100% of them are going to come back at 2 + 2 = 4. So in the world of valuing the business, a lot of people will say, well, a informal business valuation probably is not going to be as efficient or effective as what's referred to as a valid or a real valuation. Well, here's the difference. For the certified valuation, you're probably going to spend $7,500 to $10,000. Well, for an informal business valuation, you're going to spend nothing. Well, here's my thought. Knowing that the numbers will probably be pretty darn close, and based on our studies, what we're finding is that our informal business valuation is within around 5 to 7% of what a certified valuation would be. We're pretty darn close. And all we want to do is start that conversation and start this conversation about succession planning and what's important for the customer, okay? So when you talk about succession planning and the triggers, okay, there could be changes in relationship, mergers or acquisitions. There could be bankruptcy involved. There could be retirement, divorce, the owner's death or disability, and involuntary termination. These are the triggers that we feel are important to address in every buy-sell agreement. So first of all, we identify what is the value of the business, and then we can take it a step further and do what's referred to as a buy-sell review. Again, this is complimentary to you and your customer, and it allows for you and your customer and their attorney to have a really frank discussion about what their buy-sell agreement looks like, what the cause and effect of that buy-sell agreement is, and where and if any holes are in that buy-sell agreement that are not being addressed properly by the firm. So when you plan ahead, what we think is going to happen is that you're going to add clarity, financial security, and peace of mind. Okay, and what we think will the result will be, we're going to be able to maximize the financial return, hopefully minimize that income tax liability. We're going to mitigate the risk and increase the chances of a successful transition. Now, when we talk about that transition, we don't know how it's going to happen. And if you look back, we don't know which one of these triggers is going to be involved. It could be one, two, or all of them, who knows? Okay, but what we want to do is have your customer be totally prepared for any of these situations and have the ability to deal with it with clarity, financial security, and peace of mind. And when we talk about mitigating the risk, this is where your opportunity lies as a financial service expert, and the opportunity to do things for that customer and having the right amount of life insurance or disability income insurance in place at the right time and for the right amount. And so we think this is very important for you as an advisor to be able to go out and share this message, where we're offering you an opportunity to take advantage of a complimentary valuation, and then we add to that a complimentary buy-sell review. So 3 keys, obviously, to succession planning are: when do you sell, how much will you get, and who will you sell it to? That's typically the most important things going through the mind of a business owner wishing to sell his business, his or her business. So knowing that, when they sell their business is pretty darn important too. Obviously, most business owners knew how to get into business. They all understood all the fundamentals of getting into their business. They knew everything there was to get into that business and run that business successfully. However, most business owners don't know how to get out of business, okay? And getting out of business, most business owners have the idea that they're going to retire from the business and take a very large paycheck away from that, okay? And so you have to ask the question in the retirement arena, you know, how much longer do you want to work? How long do you want to stay active with the business until you retire? Or really, the question is, do you even want to retire at all? Okay, so the financial considerations involved there are: do you intend to maintain your current lifestyle that you have? Okay, and another thing is, what about healthcare? How do you plan to cover that cost? And maybe this: what if you outlive your finances? What about the market climate? How's this going to impact your business and your health? What if you experience an unplanned sickness or injury? Okay, these are questions that go through the mind of all business owners. Okay, I don't want to outlive my money, obviously, but in the meantime, if I become sick or hurt, what's going to happen to my business? And so these are all the things that are addressed in a way that is concise and very precise for that business owner in that buy-sell review. And so we think it's very important for them to do that planning. Okay, successful planning is very important, and we all agree to that. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that within that agreement, that succession planning agreement, that they understand that there are all these different key triggering events, and they have a clear understanding of the value of their business and how that business will be valued based on those triggering events. And the other thing too is, and this is where I think it's very important for you and a great opportunity for you as an advisor, is to help them identify and define what are those mandatory buyout triggers, okay? And clearly understand what is the term disability and how is that well defined. And so when you look at the opportunities and having those conversations with your business owners, the key triggering events that you want to consider are death, obviously, disability, departure, meaning retirement, voluntary or non-voluntary termination, or changes in relationships, okay? And those are the things that really are key to understand and help your customer understand that they may not feel the pain today, okay? And they may think that everything is going to end well and they're going to retire and get a very large check and walk away from the business or pass that business on to key employees or family members, but it doesn't always work that way. So what we want to do is help you understand that within those key triggering events that you want to consider, both death and disability, retirement, voluntary, and sometimes non-voluntary termination, and then changes in relationships, how are they prepared to manage those? Okay, so what we want to do is take a look at that existing agreement. Now, again, let me emphasize this. These agreements can be looked at by a lot of different sources. They're all out there. What we're offering you is an opportunity to have this source or have this agreement looked at by people in our advanced markets team who are attorneys, okay? And these attorneys will take it one step further for you, just like we would do in the disability or in the buy-sell value, or excuse me, in the business valuation, where they may get a document, and they'll get a really good document from us. But we'll go one step further, and we'll have a conversation with you, your customer, and their attorney in helping them draft a plan that is most appropriate for your customer, knowing the value of the business, understanding all the different triggers, and having that conversation again with you and their attorney and or their representative. I think it's the added value for working with principal in this arena. But what if they have an existing agreement? Are all the triggering events, are they being addressed? Okay. Are they dealing with all the potential things that could get them out of business? Is the method used in the value of the business, is it clear, precise, accurate, and consistent? You know, I can't tell you how many times I've seen business valuations, I mean, not business valuations, but buy-seller reviews that have a very specific way of valuing the business when this agreement was drawn up 18 years ago. But unfortunately, the agreement has never been modified or updated, and the value of the business has no relevance to the way the business is operating today, okay? I mean, you take a look at businesses that have been around for a while, and you'll find that their whole mechanism, their whole process has changed over the years. They may not even be in the same fundamental business they were in before, but yet that business agreement, that buy-sell agreement, is in place today based on the understanding and their willingness to transfer business ownership, you know, 10 or 15 years ago. I've seen situations where the buy-sell agreement addresses certain individuals who are no longer with the firm. I've seen buy-sell agreements that address situations where the key individuals and key owners of the firm are not even mentioned in the current buy-sell agreement. So, boy, if there's anything I can say here is to take a look at this and understand that as businesses change and the economic climate has changed, so has their buy-sell agreement, okay? And they also want to know is, when is a buyout mandatory? When is it required? Obviously, death and disability, those are the two most common areas that are not really addressed well in a buy-sell agreement. And the thing that we find is, working in the disability income arena, that definition of disability is never defined, nor is it consistent. Now, a lot of times what I'll have to do, and this is kind of a sales idea, is that a lot of people come to us that a company has a certain valuation. And the valuation, we may have 2 to 3 to 4 employees, and they do not have a well-defined definition of disability. Well, many times, because of economics, maybe because of a particular situation of the company, they can afford to fund that buy-sell agreement internally. But many times what they'll do is they'll fund a certain percentage of the value of the business, maybe 20 or 30 or 50% of the value of the business. They will have a funding mechanism of a disability buyout policy for 2 reasons. Number one, it will serve as a down payment for the company in the event of a disability. But it also creates a situation where the company principal now becomes the referee. Now, we are the ones that have determined the valuation of the business and what the outcome will be. So as the referee, now they can place the terminology that we're using in our policy directly in their buy-sell agreement to make it very clear what the definition of disability will be. They can even address a particular policy number if they wish. But again, you don't have to fund the full value of the business with disability. But what we can do is fund the particular buyout, down payment, and create a situation that we now become the referee in this situation. Because the worst thing you ever want to do is get involved in a situation where one individual, let's say Tony and I are both business partners, and Tony says, hey, I'm disabled. And my answer to Tony is, no, I don't think you are, Tony, okay? Because I don't want to buy you out, and I don't have the money to do it. So you're going to be forced to work. And that's no good for anyone, okay? It just really doesn't make for a good transition for one disabled individual to another. So the thing that we want you to do is think about this and look at the small, medium-sized business owners that you have that are in that age group of maybe 35 to 50, and request a complimentary buy-sell review and informal business valuation. What's involved here is that we have a questionnaire that you answer, very easy, 1-page report, 1-page survey type of thing. And then the other thing we would need, depending on if you're doing a valuation, we would need 3 years of corporate returns along with the balance sheet statement. But if you're looking for a business buy-sell review, we need the form along with the actual buy-sell agreement, okay? And it's a terrific way to start the conversation. They typically take 10 business days, maybe 14 business days to complete. But we think when you get them, you have some really good information to start a conversation with your customer relative to the conversation around the various different triggering events that will, again, I told you, most business owners know how to get into business. They just don't know how to get out of business and how to get out of business properly. So let's talk about protect the business. Let's talk about cost of losing a key employee. And this is very important because all too often we see key person life insurance being utilized quite a bit. And it's a very effective tool. The problem being that key employee, number one, has to die in order for the trigger this benefit. And is that key employee even going to be with you when that individual dies? Will he be an employee of the firm? Okay. So when you take a look at losing a key employee, there's a lot of things to consider. And I think many of the things are contractual benefits and staff, disruption, revenue, their skill and expertise, maybe reputation in the marketplace, and a lot of things dealing with the not only the consumer, the person that they go to every day for revenue, but also their creditors. We think key people are sometimes left kind of not necessarily covered as well as they should be, because they are key to the success of the business, and they also are the next one up in the event that there may be a triggering event. These are potential buyers to the firm, okay? So when you look at this and the opportunities available to you, that key person opportunity is very, very important. So who could it be? It could be an office manager, it could be a business partner, and it's someone who has a relationship with their suppliers and creditors and customers. Now, when we talk about key person, a key person policy today for disability can include a business owner, just as long as they do not own more than 50% of the firm. So that's a unique thing with Principal, and Principal is the #1 provider of key person disability income insurance in the marketplace today. So when you look at key person insurance, it can provide, obviously, protection for the business when a key person or a key employee dies. And we're all accustomed to what key person life insurance is, but we also offer key person disability. And it provides the cash and liquidity for the company or the firm to recruit, hire, and train that individual's replacement. We also, and I think it's a good time for me to bring up that we have a key person calculator. And now what this key person calculator does is it's something you can send. It's a link you can send to your customer, and they can do it right online at their convenience. And we offer them an opportunity to look at key person in 3 different ways. They can say, okay, tell me what the value of this individual is if they die. What type of key person life insurance would be available? We could also say, no, let's take a look at if this key person were to become disabled. Give us an idea of what type of disability benefit we can receive. Or we can do it for both. We have a third model that says, look, we're going to look at, in this calculator, we're going to give your customer an opportunity to at their convenience on their own computer, determine the value of their key people based on a living or death and disability. Now, what that's going to do is going to give you an opportunity to have a conversation with them on funding those opportunities, okay, after they get done doing this key person calculator. We think it's a very valuable tool. And I strongly encourage you to call Tony and say, Tony, send me that key person calculator, because it really is a great opportunity to start a conversation dealing with the loss of a key person, okay? But let's take a look at what can happen in light of the fact that if a key person were to go down or the business owner go down, and what type of solutions are out there for you to consider. Obviously, we talked about key person insurance, but if the business owner were to become disabled, what about overhead expense? Okay, we're talking about typically smaller companies, fee for service. This would be your attorneys, your architects, your CPAs, in some degree your doctors, dentists in most cases. We just write a ton of people in the dental market on overhead expense, where we're buying, or they're buying, a protection to keep their business open even though they're disabled, and keep that business open as a going concern until one of 2 things happen. Number 1, they come back to work and they recover from their disability, or they get to the point where they're at that trigger date for a buyout. But in the meantime, they've kept the utilities paid, their insurance paid, their employees paid, their 401k for their employees paid, the health insurance paid for their employees, their malpractice insurance or business insurance policies. They've kept all these fundamental things going. So if and when they do meet that trigger date for a triggering event, the business has been open, it's been paying its bills, it's been generating some revenue if possible, but it's a going concern. So we think that's one of the fundamental things to look at in business planning is overhead expense, okay? But when you look at key person policies, like key person life insurance, the employer buys, they pay the premium on the covered employee. And when that employee becomes, passes away, okay, those death benefits go right back to the employer to help them with hiring and replacing and training a new person. And the same thing can be said for disability income insurance. A key person disability, when we developed the product a few years back, now key person disability has been around for a long time. I can go back, I started in the business just over 40 years ago. Oop, did I go too far? And there's always been a key person disability policy being written by 1 or 2 or 3 carriers. The problem was with disability coverage of the years gone by is that they would not allow for you to insure an individual who was an owner. Well, those times have changed, which has, in this case, where you can have a business owner be classified a key individual, okay? So if they own less than 50% of the firm, then they can be considered a key person, to which the company can buy a key person disability income policy on that individual, and those dollars go back to the employer tax-free to be able to replace that individual's revenue or do whatever they want with the money, actually. But the key person disability income policy is really one that has a lot of really good things going for it in respect to what it can do, having the right amount of money at the right time in the right place in various different unique situations in the business marketplace. So let's talk about overhead expense. Obviously, it's a reimbursement plan that covers expenses like wages, employee benefits, lease payments, utilities, rent, there are malpractice insurance, a lot of different things. And again, what overhead expense is intended to do is to bridge the revenue or where a company has fixed expenses for a period of time while the disabled owner is not working. And that could be a multiple of owners. You could have up to, I believe, 4 to 6 owners if you have that, and each of them having a particular share of the business. We can cover that particular person's share of their overhead and cover those expenses up until the trigger date when they are eligible to be transitioned out of the firm. So let's talk about taking care of top talent too. When you look at highly compensated individuals and key employees, you've heard these terms before: recruit, retain, reward, and retire. These are very important terms in building a strong business model. And what you want to do is, your business owner, obviously they're looking to attract top talent, okay? And they want to be able to pay that individual based on performance and reward them for their loyalty, but also allow for them to retire comfortably, okay? And one of the things that we want to do is help you clearly understand that group long-term disability and group life insurance is not going to be the solution here. And there's a lot of pitfalls in these plans. Number one, and there's some benefits too. It's very inexpensive to do. Helps all the employees. It's very easy again to administer. The benefits typically are taxed to the individual when they become sick or hurt, or for disability benefits for sure, okay? But the problem is there's a big gap. And what I want to show you here is those dots on that screen represent particular employees. And let's hypothetically say you have a group long-term disability income plan that pays 60% of income replacement up to the first $200,000 of earned income. Okay, so it's 60% to 10,000 basically, and many of you have seen these plans before. That 60% to 10,000 would be taxed as ordinary income if the individual were to become sick or hurt. But if you look at the scenario here of that graph, and you look at the dots above the $200,000 line, okay, this represents, if you were to look at the line above the line, those are the individuals typically who are driving revenue. These are the individuals who are above the line, who are driving the revenue to provide income for the people below the line, Okay, these are the movers, the shakers, the owners, the revenue generators. Okay, so you take a look at the individual making roughly 400,000. Now you think in terms of, are they getting 60% of their income covered? No, they're getting 30% of their income covered. Everybody above the line is being discriminated against because by no other virtue than the fact that they make more money than everybody else. So again, what we do is we have a solution in here. It's called Supplemental Disability Income Protection, and allows for you as an advisor to bridge the gap for those individuals above the line as opposed to below the line. And we can do that in a couple of different ways, depending on the number of individuals and the way they pay the premium. If we have a good solid number of 5 or more of all those people in the same class, and the employer is willing to write the check to basically, we call it a combo plan, but you know, one of the ways that we've had brokers talk about this is a restoration plan. We want to restore their benefits to 60%. We want to restore their benefits to the benefits that they're giving everybody below the line. Okay, and most executives don't understand the consequence here. They say, well, I have group LTD at work, but we're, you know, they don't realize that cap, and it only covers the first $200,000 of income, puts them at a disadvantage, and in some cases a very large disadvantage to their benefit. And they're also kind of keep in mind too that the thing that drives the income for many of these people above the line are incomes that are derived not from W-2 income or base wages. It's from incentive compensation, bonuses, commissions, and what have you, that typically are not covered by LTD. So you can have an executive who's well below the line, let's say $100,000 of base income, but has $300,000 of incentive compensation, okay, for a total income of $400,000. Well, what's only being covered is that first $100,000 at 60%, or $5,000 a month. So you have an individual making $30,000 a month. They become sick or hurt. Now they're getting a check for $5,000 a month, and they have to pay taxes on that. And you know what you have to do is help them understand there's a consequence for this LTD plan, and the way it works would be very, very much a disadvantage to you. So the restoration plans that we do, which we do about 90% of the applications we write, are in writing applications on individuals who are underinsured as a result of their group long-term disability income. Okay. In addition to that, if it was a voluntary plan, which we do a lot of voluntary plans, so anybody above that line can voluntarily come to us and supplement their disability income plan of their group LTD plan. If you get 3 or more of them, now we're talking about adding to that significant premium discounts and underwriting concessions. Basically, what we're talking about here is simplified underwriting, meaning they don't have to get blood and urine, a lot of different things. APSs could be waived. So there's a lot of opportunity within that supplemental market, even on a voluntary basis, that we can make it easy for you and your customer to acquire that needed coverage. Okay, so adding individual disability income obviously is going to be a great way to add to their replacement income value. Okay, and depending on if they're executives with the firm, offer them a reward and retain them by giving them substantial premium discounts, and in some cases having this done on a guaranteed standard issue basis. So let's talk about protecting their lifestyle and retirement. When you look at retirement, this is really the golden egg that everybody wants, is they want to retire comfortably. Okay. When you look at the retirement analysis that we do as part of our business valuation and buy-sell review, we'll take a look at the value of the business. We'll talk about their personal savings and any transaction plans that they may have in place, okay? But what we also do is we have an opportunity for them to insure their retirement plan. Now, obviously with disability income, we're protecting income. With the disability retirement security opportunity, we're protecting their future retirement nest egg, because if they become disabled today, let's say at 40 or 45, now they're going to lose 20 years of potential, savings for their retirement, investing, Roth IRA, whatever. Okay, whatever they want to put their money into, with the idea earmarked for retirement, they have lost that opportunity to do that. So the way this works is that an individual becomes sick or hurt, and let's hypothetically say that we give them a policy for $3,000 or $4,000 a month. This is above and beyond their individual disability income or group insurance. This is above and beyond all this. It's a separate policy. Does not offset with the group, does not offset with the individual. If they become sick or hurt, and let's hypothetically say at age 45, these dollars that they collect are paid on a monthly basis and invested into various different investment vehicles of their choice through a trust plan. Now, the trust plan is it's a non-qualified type of plan that the money goes into the trust. And when the individual reaches age 65 or 67, then what happens is they can take money out of the trust, as if that trust, just put this way, the trust now is their retirement vehicle, okay? So they're putting money into the trust until they have a normal retirement, let's say age 65 or 67 or even age 70. That money then becomes available for your consumer, your customer, to provide dollars for their post-65 lifestyle. So we think it's kind of a unique policy and very effective tool in planning and covering individuals who are, putting money away for retirement. But let's talk about the needs for business owners, okay? 73% of business owners use a professional like yourself, okay? Those who are looking for a financial professional factor in expertise and cost, obviously. So we think the value of our buy-sell review, which costs them nothing, it's a complimentary, and the business valuation or business buy-sell review, complimentary, adds to your value proposition. And only 34% of them use CPAs and 22% of them use attorneys. So we dominate the market as advisors in the business planning arena. Okay, knowing this, what we want to do is, again, let's go back to our fundamentals. How do you value a business? Let's talk about business succession planning, talk about protecting the business owner and their key employees themselves. So I hope this was helpful for you. We could talk all day about this, but I do want to open it up, Tony, if there's any questions out there from your audience. I'd be more than happy to address any of those questions.
Okay, give me just a second. I'm going to switch this back over to me here real quick. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've got one here. Could we acquire a copy of the PowerPoint to use in this field?
Do you want a copy of this PowerPoint?
Yeah, I've got an advisor asking, is a copy of the
Tony,
PowerPoint.
I'll send it to you when we're done here. You bet.
Okay. All right, let me see what else we have here. All right, got to read through this, scroll through it. If it's okay, I would like to receive a call when you can discuss. Here we go. If it's okay with you, this is actually addressed to you, Rick. Would like to receive a call. You can discuss putting this product on the website. I guess he has sales organizations in California, New York, New Jersey, and Texas. So I guess he wants to have further conversations with you on this.
Okay. You want to give her my email address and phone number, Tony?
Yep.
I'd be more than happy to have that conversation. You bet.
Okay. Another question is, does the financial information need to be certified statements?
What we need is actual, their 1040 K1s, corporate business returns. Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, if here's the deal. The information we give is only as good as the information we get. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they have something other than, actual tax documentation, let's have a conversation. Tell us what you have and we'll give you back what we can give you.
Okay. Another question is, what if they don't have an agreement in place? And I'm assuming they're referring to a buy-sell agreement.
We can help them with that.
Or key person.
Yep. We can help them with all of that. A lot of times we will deal with brand new companies that want assistance in developing a strong buy-sell agreement. And yeah, we do that.
Okay, well, that's going to be a nice segue, because then it says, are they able to reach out to see the process that you use for buy-sell review?
Sure. We have a, if they want to, Tony, you can send me their email address and I can send them a sample. And
Okay,
put this in the email to me. And I can send out a sample buy-sell business valuation, and I can send out a sample buy-sell review.
okay,
Why don't I do this, Tony? I'm going to send you a sample buy-sell review
okay.
and a business valuation.
All right, perfect. Okay.
And you can send that out when you send out the PowerPoints to everybody if you want.
That works perfect. And another one here, we've got, does Keyman Insurance reduce the amount of insurance the same business owner can buy on personal life?
No, they do not. And the reason is because under the individual policy, the key person is the beneficiary. Under the key person policy, the beneficiary is the company. So they're two separate policies, and one would not have any effect on the other for how much value we can give them.
Okay. All right. I think I'm just scanning through this here real quick, making sure that I got all the questions.
Well, those are good questions, really good.
Yeah. Okay, one is a sample of that, so we're taking care of that. Oh, here's another one. We got a lot of them. How do you determine the amount of Keyman insurance?
We determine it based on earnings of the key person. So whatever the individual key person is earning, both in W-2 and K-1s or whatever, bonuses, commissions, we'll multiply that by 3, and the maximum benefit is $750,000 on disability.
Is that based on gross or net?
Gross. It's a function of earnings, 3 times total earnings, total earned income, gross earned income.
All right. Okay. Well, looks like we got through that. And I've got 2 additional polling questions here that kind of sums up what you and I were talking about and the questions that you were answering, but gonna put this out here anyway. So if you'd like more information on the topics that was discussed today, please respond to the polling question. So if you didn't have any questions, then make sure that we get this information out to you. And I'll leave this up for a few seconds so we can make sure that everybody has an opportunity to respond. And it looks like everybody that's responding would like more information, Rick, so that's always a good thing.
That's great. Yeah, like I said, Tony, what I'll do is I'll include in my email to you a copy of today's PowerPoint. I'll send you a sample of the buy-sell review and a sample of the business valuation.
Perfect. And last question here, if you are not appointed with principal and you would like to get appointed with principal to start writing business, go ahead and respond to this question. Make sure I get the appointment paperwork emailed out to you so we can get you appointed. I have quite a few people that are saying yay to that, which is awesome. All right.
Wow, you know what? I do this a lot, Tony.
Mhm.
And these are some great questions. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out today to discuss this. So again, thank you everybody that was on the call. If there are any additional questions after the call, you can reach out to either myself, Justin Ford, or Jess Riley, who are the other two life sales directors here. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You can reach us either by phone at 800-255-5055. Remember, here at Iams, we have a 2-ring guarantee, so you're always going to get a live person answering the phone. Or you can just email us to our email addresses here. So mine is tony@iamsinc.com. Justin is justin@iamsinc.com. And Jess, yes, that's pronounced Jess, not Jesse, jess@iamsinc.com. And for this information, along with other content, as always, please follow us or like us on Facebook or LinkedIn. This information we have available on those platforms. So with that, Rick, any final words before we end the call?
I appreciate everybody's attention and courtesy during this last hour, and hope to hear from you all soon.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you everybody for attending today's webinar, and hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Johnny.